One of the great things about using ACT is its ability to manage your contacts and track all of your interactions with them. We often see that over the course of years in business, your contacts can be spread around in various spreadsheets, and so now maybe it's time to import all of those contacts into ACT. So in this video, I want to walk you through the import wizard in ACT. To begin, locate the File menu in the top left corner and choose Import. This will launch the import wizard, and here we can see that there are two options for performing a data import: database imports or file imports. So let's click Next to continue. Now we need to choose the source type of our import. You can import a full ACT database or even other types of databases shown on this list. Now I know that my file is an Excel spreadsheet, but what if you had a CSV file instead? Well, that's okay. You could just choose text, either separated by tabs or by commas. But I'm going to choose the most common type, and that is Excel. Before we proceed with this import, let's switch over to Excel to take a look at my import spreadsheet. It begins with a simple header row at the top, and the columns in this row should line up with my fields in ACT. Then down below, it contains 3 contacts from Minneapolis. I'm going to make a note of one of them, and that is Dean Winters. That way, when the import is finished, I can just verify that his contact record has been created in ACT. Okay, that's all there is to it now, so let's save this spreadsheet and we'll go back to ACT. From here, I'm going to click the Browse button to locate that spreadsheet I was just looking at. Select it and click Open. And then once you settle on a source type and have selected your file, it's okay now to click Next. Now, when performing an import from a file and not a whole database, ACT can only import to one table at a time. And that's why in this step, we have to choose what type of records we're importing. Is it contacts or company or group records? I'm going to choose contact records here and click Next. On the import type screen, choose typical if you know that your data already lines up with the fields in your ACT database. If you're unsure, or if you know you have some custom fields to import, then choose Custom. I know I can get away with typical on my import, but I'm just going to choose Custom here anyway to demonstrate its steps. Down below, you can also click the duplicate checking button if you'd like to set up some triggers in ACT just in case any of your imported data matches any current records that are already in your database. I usually like to check for duplicate entries based on email address, but you can create a combination of any 3 fields in conjunction with another on this screen. Once you finish with that, click OK, and now we'll click Next. Now, ACT wants to know if it should import the first record or first row in your spreadsheet. You should say yes here unless your file has a header row. We've already looked at my spreadsheet and we know that it has a header row, so I'm going to leave this box unchecked and click Next. Now, ACT uses the header row in my import file and it attempts to map each column from my spreadsheet to a field in the ACT database. All I really need to do here is just scroll down to make sure that every column from my spreadsheet gets mapped to a field in ACT. Once everything looks okay, I'm going to click Next. On the next screen, we can specify merge options for contacts. If ACT flags any records as duplicates, I can choose what should happen here. So let's click Next. And now ACT performs one final check to make sure that the fields are compatible. Everything looks good according to the log, so let's click the Import button to begin the process. Now this could take a few minutes if you are importing lots of records. Once it's finished though, you may want to click the View Import Log link just to see how many records were imported and if any errors occurred during the import. Click OK to close this log and Finish to exit the import wizard. And now I'm going to do a simple search in my ACT database for Dean Winters. And I can see that ACT successfully imported his contact record from my spreadsheet.